Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show. If you like The Mike Wagner Show and you want to make your own podcast, well, let me tell you about Anchor. First of all, it's free. Secondly, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. You can also add any song from Spotify directly to your episodes. The possibilities are endless. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you. You can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, many more. You can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios.
Hi, this is Mia Mosinzia, also known as Mia No Time for Love. Check out my latest book, Missing, available in print and ebook formats on Amazon.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios and sponsored by international award-winning author Mia Mosinzia of Missing. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on over 40 podcast platforms, as well as HamiltonRadio.net, Diamonds FM, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. We can be heard in over 100 countries, featuring over 1,000 well-known and amazing guests throughout the globe. And named one of the top 100 global podcasts in the New York Weekly Times, Hollywood Entertainment News, Los Angeles Weekly Times, Apple, and Chartable. So sit back and relax and enjoy another great episode of the award-winning Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention The Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of The Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Mosinzia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you love Missing by Mia Mosinzia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those you love will be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Mosinzia has garnered great reviews in E11 enjoys by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassie, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for Goes Missing by Mia Mosinzia, available on Amazon. Also, check out The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com on over 40 podcast platforms in over 100 countries, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also, Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, Apple, and also we're on HamiltonRadio.net, Oldies FM, Diamonds Radio, and more. Take The Mike Wagner Show on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow The Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out The Mike Wagner Show podcast. T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies, baseball shirts, and more. Makes great gifts 24/7. Go to Amazon.com and check out The Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Mosinzia for great books like Missing, Once, and Wrinkles. Also, T-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, cool merchandise, and more, including phone cases and more. Amazon.com/Mia Mosinzia. Check it out today. Also, support The Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, themikewagnershow.com. You can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com. But The Mike Wagner Show, make sure you do so today. We're here with a terrific lady who's an author of an amazing book, which Hope Makes Me Not Ashamed. We'll talk about that. She's a 1993 Northwestern State University graduate in general studies, got her doctoral degree in psychology and counseling from Vision of Faith Theological Seminary. She's a licensed Christian counselor, mental health specialist, also a family functioning therapist, also a founder of Women of Excellence, the Armed and Dangerous Ministry. And of course, she's a widow of the late Ronald J. Harris Sr. And her new book is about her journey about finding herself lost in tears and battles with shame and guilt, and how her spiritual lift, guided by God, full of twists and turns, and experiencing his voice through all. It's in the book, Makes Me Not Ashamed. And live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios in beautiful downtown in Houston, the amazing author of the new book, Hope Makes Me Not Ashamed. Ladies and gentlemen, the multi-talented Dr. Frances Harris. Dr. Frances, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Okay. You want me to tell you about the book? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear perfect. But before we talk about the book, let's talk about how you got started. You're a 1993 Northwestern State University graduate in general studies. You got your doctoral degree in psychology and counseling from Vision of Faith Theological Seminary. You're a licensed Christian counselor, mental health specialist, and also family functional therapist. And also you're a founder of Women of Excellence, Armed and Dangerous Ministry. And your new book talks about the journey about finding yourself lost in tears and battles with shame and guilt, and how your spiritual life, guided by God, full of twists and turns like a roller coaster, and experiences voiced through all in the book. Hope Makes Me Not Ashamed. We'll talk about your other book, 21 Days, Hope Ladder. And before getting to all that, Dr. Francis, tell us how you first got started.
Now, what did you say?
Tell us how you first got started.
Oh, okay. Well, how I first got started is I was in a ministry. My husband was a pastor, and I was a pastor's wife. And he was murdered in 2013. And I was there. My family was there, and it was a national news story. And it kind of threw my life all out of sync because that was the only person I was with all my life, and we were together for 30 some years. So I had to relearn my own whole self. I was thankful that all the things that I had done for others, like teaching and training people through the years, helping women, empowering women through the ministry and through the things that I knew through what I was learning when I was in college through psychology and my counseling practice. I think all of those things together helped me to produce something that would help not only just me, others through my book. And my book was more like where I lost my way with God. I feel like I had not knowing purpose, not knowing what I was going to do, where I was going to go. And what caused me to write the book is my journey, because it was like a journey. I got to start from scratch. It seemed like I had to start all over again. Here I am by myself with no one. My husband wasn't there anymore. We had done everything together. We go together, we shop together, we go out to eat together, we travel together with the church, and we work together in the ministry. So when that happened, it's like I lost me. Even though I was well educated, even though I had all of these things that I did, I administrated for the church, I had my own counseling practice, I did a lot of things in the community. Even though I did all of those things, it's like I just fell off the boat, fell off the surface of the earth. I went into a place of hiding. I was shamed because of all of the scandals behind the murder was a lot, and it was overwhelming to me. So the first thing I thought to myself is, God, why is all of this happening to me? And I had to learn that bad things happen to good people, that people are good, and you can be good, bad, or whatever. Things just happen. It's a part of life. And I had to learn that, and it wasn't an easy task. And so when I began to start writing the book, it was like a journal. It was like everything that I was doing, everything I was going through, it's like I was like on a roller coaster ride. It's like I'd get up on the top, and then the next day I'm at the bottom. And afterwards, we were supposed to all have counseling. We only had one grieving counseling in the city of Lake Charles in Louisiana. And we were like every 3 months, someone in the church was scheduled. And so that wasn't really easy for us because we were going in and out of court, back and forth. And it was so much drama and so much scandals. I mean, all over, everywhere. CNN came to my home. And it was just so much going on that it was just unreal, and unbearable, but I went and took on the task of pastoring the church. I pastored for maybe about 4 years. And we had some preachers from LA. They came down to kind of Bishop Jones. He came down to help us out, and just to no avail. We could get nowhere. It's just like, it was just, I kept drowning, the church kept drowning, and my family kept drowning into scandals, into all the things that was going on. So I had to get to the place where I had to realize that I could not carry everybody. I couldn't carry them no matter what. And then I had to start thinking about all the things I told people, all the things that I've said to people, and what did I need more than anything? I needed to know that God loved me. And I didn't believe God loved me. I thought that God had forgot me. I thought people hated and despised me. I would go in the store, I look at people look at me funny. I guess all the scandals and the gossip behind the murder made people think bad of me. Even people were saying things about me, and I didn't know any of the stuff that was going on. It was a total shock to me what happened and how it happened. But I do thank the Lord that God has brought me to the place where I had to realize that Francis, not just say Dr. Francis Harris, but you got to realize that in life, you're going to go through some things, and death comes to all of us. One day we're going to go by the way of death, and we don't know how. And I had to learn that, I could be in a tragedy accident. Somebody can come and kill, like some people got killed the other day. Let's see, I think it was Saturday in Buffalo, New York. And
I read about that. And when I heard that, I went, what's going on here? And of course, it happened in Milwaukee too, that 10 or 20 people got shot after a Bucks playoff game. It's like you got these shootings. It's like, what's next?
Yes. And I was, and I had to get a grip. I'm thinking I'm just an isolated person, and realizing these people are hurting too. There's a lot of senior people or a lot of elderly people. And my husband was a pastor of a church, and we had a growing church. We had just built a building. Maybe we had been in there maybe about 8 or 9 years. And he was very prominent in the city and everything. So all of this coming tumbling down in a bad way. And so, when you look at things and you look at today, I realized that I need to speak to the audience. And I'm a writer. I've been a writer. I always write, take notes. I journal. And I journal so that I can get my thoughts of who I am. And that's what journaling is about. When you go back and you read what you was thinking on Monday, what was you saying? And then you think about it and you think, okay, you can kind of put yourself in perspective, and it helps you so much. And so I used to tell all of my clients that, especially the young ones, I had teenager clients, and all of those people, I would always tell them, get a journal about your thoughts. This will help you with your mental health. And then I knew at the point in my life that I don't know where I was, why I was doing what I was doing, but I had to find me, because I was lost. Even though I would get up every Sunday, I would minister to the people, tell them what I thought. And I even turned the whole church into a 90-day, what I did is a 90-day challenge to help our mental mind to get back focused on life. And the 90-day challenge included with body, mind, and spirit. That's what I told them. We're going to do body. We're going to do 1 month of the body. We're going to do the mind, and we're going to do the spirit. We can't get to counseling, so we're going to turn this place into a counseling place. And so we made group, and we got together, and we talked about what we were going through. I taught on all the things that I knew that I had learned in college. I brought my books out, and we did it. I really can say we did it, by the help of God, of course. And so when I was writing the book, I thought about all of that. I realized that, it was like I was traveling. I was traveling on a journey. And who is Francis? Who is she? She always been the pastor's wife, first lady, Sister Harris. Dr. Harris, when I go and I get my clients, but who are you? So, and what are you needing, in this life? What, and so I had to find purpose, and hope helped me do that. And that's where the title came from. Hope makes me not ashamed, because I was buried in shame, because my husband wasn't here to defend himself, nor was he here to tell me what all went on. So I'm trying to fend for myself to figure out what went on, what happened. And at the same time, I had to hear everything. So who is Francis? She's lost in time. And I had to bring myself back up to speed. And so when I wrote the book according to what I was dealing with through time.
And
So
what?
into my time, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, I was dealing with a lot of things going in and out of court. I was dealing with a lot of things trying to find who I was. And it seems like the more I would try, the more I would go through. Looked like I lost everything. I kept losing. It looked like I couldn't gain. I felt like I was a little child lost. And in my book, I talk about that a little bit, about feeling like a baby just left by themselves, you know, and I'm trying to help the people of God that's saying, you know, where was God? Why did he let the man come into church? Why did he let the pastor kill our pastor? You know, they were saying, why did God let this happen? They couldn't understand it. Even though I, at that time, couldn't process it and understand it, I did know one thing that I learned from years of my life and all the things my grandmother and my mom had taught me, that I still have to trust God. Even though I don't understand, even though it's hurting, even though I'm pain, I know I just couldn't get totally mad with God. In one part of my book, as I thought that I was just going along, learning back and forth, because, you know, I got some metaphors in there and things like that. I talk about in the kingdom for such a time as this, and things like that, comparing it to Esther and some things like, and that's the way it was for me, to try to see where did I fit in God? Where did I fit in the kingdom? I was this other person. Now, who really am I? So when I began to have hope to see a better day, to see me in a better place, to see me doing different things, making changes. And I even changed, like, what do I do? What I like? You know, I always say, and I would always ask my husband, do you like this? What you think about this? And because we were high school, we was high school sweethearts, and we had been together since high school. That's all I knew. And I would always seek him for opinion. So I had to learn what I like, what I don't like, what I, you know, how I like to look, what I would like to look like, who I might become. And by the time I had finished this book, I looked in the mirror, Mike, and I said, I like you. I like you, Francis. I like who you've become.
And we like you too, by the way. Yes, we do. And of course, another one too, you brought up the metaphors, like with Esther and some of the others. What are some other metaphors that you've used, and it can apply to some people as well?
Yes, I did. I used Esther, and I used it's a book that I read to my kids, and I read it myself. It's called Hinds Feet in High Places. I think it's called High Places. The book is about a deer, actually, that has kind of like cleft feet, and he's kind of like we would say retarded or something like that, but he's not normal. So he wants to get to the top of the hill, and he's fearful, and so he's afraid to go up because of his position or what he looks like. So I put that in the book because I felt somewhat like that. I was fearful to go out in front of people, to talk to people. I didn't know what people thought of me or what they would think of me. You know, all I could hear was the gossip of this husband and what he done. And I'm gonna try to stay away from it because it's me. This is about Francis. It's not about him. It's about me. Mm-hmm. And so I was wondering, what would people think about me? What would they say about me? What are they saying? So that, and it made me fearful. And in my book, I traveled back from high school, back to middle school, back to elementary school. Where did I get this uncontrollable fear from? You just don't develop it overnight. You know, I know all of the things that happened to me, but why was I so fearful? And then it began to make me realize that I got to go to that place so that I can get healed, you know, from the things that I need to be healed from to move forward. So I realized that I don't know what it is. So I got to talk to my mom before she died. And I got to talk to some of my family members to find out that when she was pregnant with me, she was my father, who she was married to at the time. He was fighting her, and she left him. She left him and she was maybe about 5 or 6 months pregnant with me. She had to go back home to her mom. And my grandmother was kind of like, really, really like a strict, stern person. And, I talk about it in the book, but she was so afraid. She had my sister at that time, and then she had my brother. We like step ladders. And she's going back home from Houston at the time to Louisiana. And so when I was born, and I could remember when I was a little girl, I was so scary. I was scared of everything. I was scared to do anything. I was scared to get in front of people. And I had this friend, and I talk about it in my book, that would always try to push me when I got to high school. Francis, you could do this. And I would be so scared. And it was two things that were really, really great. And I talk about it in my book too, about how that I wanted to try out for a play, a drama, and it was called Up the Down Staircase. And I was so afraid to try out, but she said, you could do this. And I wanted to do it because I like to write. I like to write portrait. I like to write things, and I could see myself doing it, but I never could push myself. So I went to try out for the part, I think it was Helen. I can remember it. And if you remember that Up the Down Staircase, it was good.
I thought you're fearful of staircases, I thought.
Yes. Oh God. And so we had when I saw my name posted, I was like, I made it. I could not believe it. And at that time, I was like, oh my God, I made it. So I made that. I started feeling a little bit better, building up confidence, and getting fear. I still would get a little bit nervous, to get in front of people, but I did real good in the play. My mom,
amazing, yeah,
good
good job. I wish I would have saw you.
And so the next thing where I were in band, and we had majorettes at the time. We did batons, So she said, Francis, you need to try out. I was like, I cannot do it. I'm so clumsy. She's like, I'm gonna teach you. And I love her so much. She was such a confident person. She could believe she could do anything, and she believed more in me than I believed in myself. And I'll talk a little bit about that in my book as well. And this is in chapter 11. And what she did is she brought me to a place where I could just push over the hump of what I was feeling, never, ever knowing in life that I had got these fears from my mom. I'd inherited them as being in her wounds as a baby, And so she trained me. We would practice every day. And I got really good at it. I was like, oh, I should have had my picture so you can see it.
Something that'd be great too. And
but I was measuring. And so I was like, oh Lord. And so we had tryouts and everything. And she said, oh, Francis, you got it. I got it. She tried out. She said, I know you got it. I was like, oh, and I'm like, I don't know. I saw my name posted, and I was like, oh Lord, I made it. So it pushed me. So I graduated, it pushed me even harder in school. And I graduated with honors, and I went to college in nursing. And when I was getting ready to go to clinical, and this all compact in the book. And when I went to, I got pregnant. Right in the midst of getting ready to go to clinical. And so I ended up getting married, which is my husband. We got married, and then I just went back into this shell. I didn't see you have to travel back in life to find out where you get these things from. You just don't have just uncontrollable fear. All of us have a measure of fear of things. We got to learn out why we get these uncontrollable fears, why we get these uncontrollable things in our lives, or some things are generational. Sometimes we have generational things passed down to us. We don't know why we do things.
Could that also be tied to events as well?
Right. Oh yes. Definitely. Okay. Yes.
And what about PTSD as well too? Would that take part of it? Because that's been a big subject as of late.
Oh yes. I was just talking to my granddaughter. She had just had a little baby, and I was always saying, when you're fearful, the baby knows, he feels it, and that's true. Because, and I was talking from a standpoint of myself. I had no idea where I was getting all this from, because I would have to sleep with the light on, and when I got married, I had to sleep with the light on.
Oh.
And I didn't. And my husband would say, "Why do you like to have a light on?" I said, "I just need the light on." I didn't know why I was scared. I didn't know what I was afraid of. And then God took me through all of that, Mike, all of that, to bring me to a place where my husband gets murdered. I'm all by myself. I'm writing my book in 2000, with 17 or 18, starting on it. I had to go to California with one of my cousins. I get there, and God shows me that you got this fear from your mom.
So it is a generational thing going, from the womb and everything else. Like,
Yes.
what you eat, what you drink, what you consume, what you think,
Right.
what you say. And yeah, that is so true. And of course, another thought that came to my mind, that you had those two incidents where it's like, you're fearful of being in a play, fearful of being in a marching band or majorette. What about some of the other stories that you had like to share with us? Like, say you're completely fearful of, but then it's like you somehow got over the hump.
Oh, yes. And I knew, Mike, that my aunt and I we went to Arkansas, and in Arkansas they do have some mountains over there. Mm-hmm. And I call them mountains for our side. But it was really, you probably got sort of real deal mountains.
Oh, but anyway, yeah.
I went up. I was afraid of heights. I was afraid of it. It was so much fear in me. And you really couldn't tell. I just would lay back. But, if you get to be around me, you'll know that I was fearful. The only time is like when I'm in the people that I know in my comfort zone. When I was outside of that, I would get nervous. And I mean, people say boo, and I'm nervous, scared. I'm not going. I don't want to go, and it was a lot. It was a lot for me. But I told my aunt, we went up and we was going to go see the highest peak part of the mountains over there, while my grandson was getting ready to try for a team over there after graduation. And I went up on the tallest thing. This is after the murder. This is in 2019, mm-hmm. Just getting ready get the book. I went and I stood and I told her, she said, "You're going to go over there?" I said, "Yes." I went over to the edge and I looked down and I looked around and I said, "This is beautiful." And she was looking at me because she always knew I was scared. And I had gotten over it. I had gotten over my fears. And that's when I realized, I had to go through all of that for God to bring me to a place to let me know that things that we have in our lives, when we don't know where it comes from. Sometimes I know I've had to deal with people that have been molested, that had, family had a lot of things happen in their lives, and they have fear or they don't like the dark. And I've counseled people like that. But there are some people just don't know where it comes from, and a lot of times it's the case that I had, parents and mother, when you was afraid, nervous, or something she was going through. Mm-hmm. And that's what happened to me. So I wrote this book, Hope Make Me Not Ashamed. Okay. Because the hope in me that was put in me through all of what I went through, as I began to overcome fear, as I began to find Francis and look at myself and see what I liked and what I didn't like and become a person, it was like hope. It was like the word hope. Hope was such a, and I know we talk about we have hope. If we don't have hope, it's most miserable according to the word of God. But hope is something just deeper than just that. Hope is something tangible that you really can hold on to. It's just like faith. I call them in the book twins. I said faith and hope. They're coming together. You have the faith to believe, and you got to believe first in yourself before you can believe in anything else. You got to believe that you can. I had to believe that I could do what my friend was telling me I could do. but it all tumbled back down until I got healed, and I would say delivered or healed or whatever I could say, that I got set free from fear. And now, I can go out. I was riding one night. My grandson had gotten, and he was in the homecoming, and one of the local car dealerships we knew allowed him to use one of the convertible cars.
Oh, wow.
And yes, and so he said, Miss Harris, you can just keep it the whole weekend. So I kept it the whole weekend, and I was driving, and I said, I'm going to take a night drive. And because it's like each time that I would feel better about fear and better that I could move on, it was always something would happen. And one of the things I knew that I had to get past is thinking that somebody's going to shoot me.
Oh, I can understand that. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I always see that face. I would just see the face, and I was always having like nightmares of somebody shooting me. And I had to get over that because I wasn't going to be able to do too much of anything.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mike, I said, I'm going to go and ride. And I said, I'm going to force myself to do this. I got in that car, and, it's like I could hear the voice of God really just saying, you're going to be okay. Go ahead. You want to do it? Try it. I went in, I put the top down, and I rode, and it was dark.
Oh my God. Air conditioning.
I was like, I rode, I came back, I was like, I made it. So sometimes you got to challenge your own self, and that's what I was learning. I had to challenge my fears, challenge my doubt, my unbelief, my faith was on thin ice. I had to challenge God. God, do you really love me? I'm going through all of this. And I know a lot of people say, Job, and that's why I opened my book up about Job. I had heard it so much, Mike. Well, about Job, and how we church people, we do. First thing we do is try to characterize you. So everybody, I say, if somebody else tell me about Job, I don't want to hear nothing about Job. He was a man. I'm a woman, and I realized they wasn't telling me necessarily in gender. They were just saying you're going through a lot, but he came out, and you're going to come out one day. Mm-hmm. And so that's what my book is. That one is about,
And certainly indeed as well, too. We'll talk about your other book, 21 Days Hope Ladder as well, too, a systematic way of connecting to God. But first, listen to the Mike Widener Show at the MikeWidenerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. It's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Widener Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Widener Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia. Available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those you love will be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews, and even 11 enjoys by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and Emmett. So grab your copy today for Goes Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Widener Show at the MikeWidenerShow.com on over 40 podcast platforms, heard in over 100 countries. Take us with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Widener Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Widener Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Widener Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia for great books, merchandise, and more. Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. Check it out today. Also support the Mike Widener Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, the MikeWidenerShow.com. You can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com at the Mike Widener Show. Make sure you do so today. We're here with the amazing Dr. Frances Harris, the author of Hope Makes Me Not Ashamed, here on the Mike Widener Show. And we just got a really good idea about the book and going through twists and turns like roller coaster. I mean, I feel like I've been on a roller coaster ride, but you also have another book called 21 Days Hope Ladder, the second edition, a systematic way of connecting to God. And tell us more about that.
Okay, yes. And I forgot to show you the book. This is Hope Makes Me Not Ashamed, if they would get. And this is the 21-day Hope Ladder Journal. Now this book it really did connect me back to God. I had when I got to Houston, I had a bunch of papers. I told you earlier about journaling. I journaled for all that time. I would just write things down and write it here. Every time I had a thought, I write. And then I got to the place where I was all over the place. I didn't know if God was there. I didn't know. Sometimes I felt he was there. Sometimes I didn't. Sometimes it's just like I was telling you, twists and turns and roller coaster rides. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I decided to sit down one day and say, I remember telling all of my clients about the 21-day rule, about a habit. I say, I'm praying, but I'm all over the place. So I'm gonna have to try this. And it was not just a 21-day, and I would tell them 21 days, and then I included that in there, 21 days and 90, which means try when you want to break a habit or formulate a habit, you would go 21 days and then take that same pattern, the same habit you've formed, and go 90 days. And see, and a lot of people just stay right there to 21 days and went in and say, okay, I went 21 days. No, you got to practice that same thing for 90 days.
Oh, wow.
It's called the 21 day, 90-day rule. And that's something I learned in one of my classes. And when I was studying, I included that in my book as well. And I thought maybe I would include also how to journal, how to steps and how to formulate good habits, and how to, bad habits, or I don't say bad, I say just, not so good habits and stuff. But I had to formulate a habit of connecting to God, so that I could get the directions for my life. Which way are you going to go? So I would get up in the morning and I just started day one. First thing, I'm thinking like a counselor and I'm thinking in mental mind stuff. So when I talk and when I write, some of the things that I write in both of these books, and I got another one that I'm working on, it's going to kind of like connect sometimes to mental mind, because that's where I was and that's what I do a lot of. So I'm thinking to myself, first of all, what I got to do is I'm looking at one thing. I'm looking at a tunnel view. I'm just looking at, okay, here I am. I lost my husband. He was murdered. The man got off. I'm been in and out of court. Everybody forgot about us. I'm losing. I lost my car. I lost my house. I'm just going all of these losses. So I'm just looking at one thing. I can't see no further than that. I can't see a career. I can't see nothing. So I thought, ask God for a panoramic view. I know he knows all things and he's all knowing. So the first day is okay, God, give me a panoramic view. Not just one side, but I want to see all sides. And when I begin to do that, I begin to say, okay, I'm going to ask God. So I said, God, give me a panoramic view. When I got that panoramic view, oh my God, Mike, I begin to see things differently. Okay, Francis, this is just one way that things are happening. It is a big old world out there. You don't have to just live here in Lake Charles. You can live in Texas. You can live in California. You can go wherever you have a degree. You have a doctorate degree. You have a practice. You have administrative skills. You have a whole lot of stuff. Look at everything that you got in your, on your file. Just don't look at this one thing. And so when I began to look around and see that, then I realized that I needed to do that. So this book, it connects you to that, your purpose. Because in each day that you get up, you ask God, because he knows everything, the end from the beginning. He knows all about you. He knows what your purpose is. He knows it's going to be a Mike Wagner show. And he knew that Francis was going to be on it. He knew that. So he knew all of, so ask him. So I thought about that. So I started it, working it. I got up, I said, I'm going to ask God to start me off with a view of things so I can see things differently. Then I give a scripture to help somebody or help. I read the scripture, found a scripture that would help me with it, and then I prayed. I did a prayer, and it wasn't not long. I just prayed. So we're not going to talk about nothing else. We're going to just pray about this one thing, and then I do a thought to remember. Then I would just write little notes, but it was all on paper. So the next day I'm thinking, okay, what I'm going to ask God for this day. Mike, by the time I got to 21 days, I saw myself doing great things.
Amazing. Wow.
Moving. I saw myself, on top. I saw myself like behind feet in high places. I saw myself in high places. I started walking around the neighborhood, and I'd get up in the morning because I was afraid to do that for a while. I get up in the morning, I start walking and talking. I say, you are blessed. You are highly favored. You see my email, Blessed Francis. I was like, you blessed, you're going to do great things. You're going to write, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. I would just be telling myself all of that. And I started getting motivated. I started getting purpose. And this book, I'm telling you, people need to buy it. Why? Because it really does connect you to God. I mean, I asked a lot of people when they bought it, I said, go through it, but just don't go through it 21 days and just read it. Because I had one of my friends, she said, I read the whole thing. It's so short in one night. I say, that's not the purpose. It's a daily devotional. And it's a time that you spend with God trying to get purpose in your life. So it is a book. It's a great book. And I had it all on paper, and I put it in perspective and put it in a book.
And you certainly are blessed as well, too, Francis. And we'll find out what's coming up as well, too. You listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Also brought to you by our official sponsor, the Mike Wagner Show, international war-ring author Mia Molson's The Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. We'll be back with author Dr. Francis Harris of Hope Makes Me Not Ashamed and 21 Days Hope Ladder after this time out.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. It talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamoshenzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Hey, this is Ray Powers, and boy, are you in luck. Right place, right time. Tuned in to the Mike Wagner Show. You heard me.
We're back with author Dr. Francis here on the Mike Wagner Show. We talked about Hope Makes Me Not Ashamed and her other book, 21 Days Hope Ladder, the second edition, a systematic way of connecting to God. And just a few more minutes here. We'd love to have you back. What else can we expect from you in 2022 and beyond?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm working on a book that my perception sets my platform. I started on that last year. I've been working in and off on it, and another book, It Had to Happen That Way. The book that I'm working on with the perception is how we see things, how we view things, how we look at things is how we will achieve the things what we need in life. And I always refer to this scripture that helped me to get to this book. And I don't know if I have it in the book, but where I got it from is when It was the 12 spies that went to go to spy out the land. I'm sorry, spy out the land. And then 2 came back, they were saying we like grasshoppers, and when I was, we're like little grasshoppers. And so that's the way I thought I was. I felt like I was like a little grasshopper, and all of these weeds and everything was up, and people were just stepping on me, and I couldn't go nowhere. I couldn't move forward. Everything I tried to do is like I was just drowned. So when a lot of the books that I'm gonna be writing is about similar to what I went through in perspective, So I had and I said, I gotta how I view me. I can't look at myself like a grasshopper. I got to look at myself on the top. So I gotta think, so that's what it's about. It's about how you perceive you and where you're gonna go.
That's rather interesting. I like that grasshopper analogy as well, too, being on top. I like that. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Well, I say God. I can say God, but person. Well, I have my bishop and his wife that was with me, and they're elderly people, and they've been with us for years. But they have been great mentors. They've prayed for me. They've been by me no matter what was said or done. When I remember when the murder happened, and I want to shout out to them too, Bishop Nelson, James Nelson, and Mother Bessie Nelson. That's my people. I have some other great people in my life, but they were, I don't know where they overseas somewhere, but I don't know, they changed all their flights just to get there. And they, to know them, he's a older man, she's older, and you would think that they would just be like little sitting back in a rocker somewhere. He had a heart attack, but he just moved around like he's 30 or 40. He stopped everything and just started moving and coming and helping me and being there for me. And no matter what, all through the years, they have been there for me, carrying me, encouraged me that I was going to be better. I was going to do great things in life. And even when I couldn't see it. So they were great inspiration to me. Besides God was the greatest, because I developed a greater relationship with him after my husband were murdered. I learned to hear him, hear his voice, know he loved me, he cared about me, and to be able to express that to other people, that God loved you no matter what you're going through, no matter where you are in life. He knows he was there, and that's was the hardest part for me to get past, Mike, was to know that I'm in a church. We're serving and worshiping God and loving God, and he allows this to happen. And I couldn't understand it. And then once I began to understand it better, that that was my husband's course. That's what was going to happen in life. And I had to accept it. And then I had to run my course. And my course is, is still running. And I'm still having to do what I have to do. And that is to tell people that to have hope, and that days will get better, even if it doesn't look like it.
And certainly you do as well, too. It's amazing. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
The best advice I could give people at this point is, especially those that are going through, if you're going through the most hardest time and you can't see daylight, know one thing, that light gonna come. It's just like it's not always gonna be night. Morning does come. Mm-hmm. It may not be always day, but night gonna come. It's a part of life. And as you live, know that a part of life, we're gonna have tragedies, we're gonna have things that happen in our lives, just like we had the pandemic, all of us lost a lot of people. But know that if you are still here, that God has a purpose and that God loves you.
Amen to that. That is very powerful indeed. God bless you. Once again, with Dr. Frances Harris, the author of Hope Makes Me Not Ashamed and 21 Days Hope Letter here on the Mike Wagner Show. Dr. Frances, a very big thank you for your time. You've been an absolute blessing. Looking forward to having you again soon. Make sure you keep us up to date. Keep in touch. Love having you back. Once again, tell us about your upcoming projects, what's your website, how do people contact you, where can people purchase or check out your books?
Okay, you can purchase Hope Make Me Not Ashamed at Amazon. Amazon, and any and all online bookstores. That's Barnes and Nobles, all of the online bookstores you can be able to purchase Hope Make Me Not Ashamed and 21 Day Hope Ladder Journal. My website is www.drfrancisharris.com. That is www.drfrancisharris.com. That is my website. And when you go to my website, you can also purchase Hope Make Me Not Ashamed and 21 Day Hope Ladder Journal. And my upcoming products, hopefully coming up in 2022 or 23, will be My Perception Sits, my platform. And it had to happen that way. There's 2 more books I'm working on right now. Okay. And I hope to come back.
And certainly amazing too. We're looking forward to it. Once again, Dr. Francis, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. Looking forward to having you again soon. Make sure you keep us up to date, keep in touch. Love to have you back. We wish you all the best. You've got a great future ahead of you, and God bless you in everything you do.
All right. Thank you, Mike.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamotionzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show. Brought to you by international award-winning author Mia Mohsen-Zia of Missing. And powered by Sonic Web Studios. Be sure to join us again on over 40 podcast platforms. And of course on the MikeWagnerShow.com, HamiltonRadio.net, and Diamonds FM. Don't forget to support our program with a generous donation at the MikeWagnerShow.com. Thanks for listening.